60 Men Who Changed History, Musab Ibn Umair, the First Envoy of Islam, Part 1. How good it is for us to start with this man from the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. He was the flower of Quraysh. He was the most handsome and youthful. Historians describe him as the most charming of the Makkans. He was born in wealth, and he lived a life of luxury. Perhaps there was no boy in Makkah who was pampered by his parents like Musab Ibn Umair. He was the talk of the ladies of Makkah, the jewel of its clubs and assemblies. Is it possible that he will be one of the legends of faith? What an interesting tale. The story of Musab Ibn Umair, or Musab the Good, as he was nicknamed among the Muslims. He was one of those made by Islam and fostered by the Prophet, peace be upon him. His story is a pride of all mankind. He heard one day about Muhammad, peace be upon him, that Allah had sent him as bearer of glad tidings and a warner to call them to the worship of Allah, the one God. When Makkah slept and awoke, there was no other talk but the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his religion, and this spoiled boy was one of the most attentive listeners. Meeting the Prophet ﷺ. He heard that the Prophet, peace be upon him, and those who believed in him were meeting far away from the dignitaries of the Quraysh in the house of Al-Arqam, El-Bian, Al-Arqam, Dar al-Arqam. He wasted no time. He went one night to the Dar al-Arqam, yearning and anxious. There, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was meeting his companions, reciting the Quran to them and praying with them to Allah the Most Exalted. Mus'ab had hardly taken his seat and contemplated the verses of Quran recited by the Prophet, peace be upon him, when his heart became ready to accept Islam. The pleasure almost flung him from his seat as he was filled with a wild ecstasy. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, patted his throbbing heart with his blessed right hand, and the silence of the ocean's depth filled his heart. In the twinkling of an eye, the youth who had just become Muslim appeared to have more wisdom than his age, and a determination that would change the course of time. Musab's mother was Khunas bint Malik, and people feared her almost to the point of terror because she possessed a strong personality. When Musab became a Muslim, he was neither careful before nor afraid of anyone on the face of the earth except his mother. Even if Makkah, with all its idols, nobles and deserts, were to challenge him, he would stand up to it. As for a dispute with his mother, this was an impossible horror, so he thought quickly and decided to keep his Islam secret until Allah willed. He continued to visit Dar al-Arqam and take lessons from the Prophet, peace be upon him. He was satisfied with his faith and avoided the anger of his mother, who had no knowledge of his embracing Islam. The secret was out. However, Makkah at that time kept no secret, for the eyes and ears of the Quraysh were everywhere, very alert and checking every footprint in its hot sands. Once, Uthman ibn Tayha saw him steadily entering Alam's house. Then he saw him a second time praying the Muslim prayer. He ran quickly to inform Musab's mother, who was astonished by it. What happened when he met his mother? Inshallah, to find out, please watch part 2 tomorrow. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe so you can get automatic updates.